Advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC. Blackridge Asset Management is a separate and independent entity from Peak Brokerage Services, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. And now, Today with Denny, here's Denny Artachi.
Good morning. Another beautiful day in South Florida. My God, Evan, does it get much better than this? I mean,
this is what we live for.
Exactly.
That's all I got to say.
So, listen, did you have any hours off this weekend?
No. I actually lost my voice over the weekend.
You did?
Had no voice, took Monday and Tuesday off, and then got back in the saddle Wednesday. It was bad.
So your wife loved you, right? Because you couldn't talk to her.
She was loving life, let me tell you.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we have a very special guest today, my good friend Grace Vergis, which we're going to get to real soon. I want to let everybody know that it's a beautiful, glorious day here in South Florida. Oh, am I? Oh, good thing Evan's here. Otherwise, I thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I need a bib also.
Sorry about that. I just had to make sure your voice was coming through clearly, that you're on microphone.
I don't know.
I want you to sound good. That
really helps. So President Biden is getting ready to sign the stimulus package. So what do you think? They're going to add another $1 trillion to the debt. You think that's a good idea?
I don't know. I don't want to say my opinion because you'll get me going on a rant.
Well, honestly, we're not getting political. I know a lot of people need help.
Yeah.
You know, COVID has been devastating.
Yeah.
But from a fiscal standpoint, we're adding $2 trillion to an already $28 trillion debt. I mean, that's kind of scary.
It's a lot of money. It's an awful lot of money.
It is a lot. No, so supposedly we're going to get like $1,400 each. But if you're married, from what I understand of the bill, and I don't know what to believe because, you know, I read what I can. If you're married with a couple of kids, you can get up to $5,600, and then you get a tax credit of $6,000 per child after that. So look, let's hope it helps people. I know a lot of people are hurting right now. The idea is getting us whole, and we can look behind this terrible pandemic, right?
Exactly. I agree with you.
So my first guest here, I could spend an hour just describing my good friend. She, at one time, she was known as a love doctor. Is that true? Do you remember claiming that?
I was.
You were a love
Absolutely.
doctor. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, she is an ambassador of Christ, which is awesome, because without God, is it really worth living in this life? And of course, it is not. But she has a couple of other hats. She's the vice president of Worksite Wellbeing Council of the Treasure Coast in Palm Beaches. These are fancy titles you got here, Grace.
Title is nothing.
No?
It's the impact I make while on those boards.
I know that. All right. So here's a couple of vice president of memberships of St. Lucie County Human Resource Association and District 6 Wellbeing Director of HR for Florida State Council. Besides that, ladies and gentlemen, she has a degree in business and psychology at Western Ontario. That's right. She is a Canadian by birth. Yes.
I am. I actually European, Canadian, and now American as well. So I'm a dual citizen and I have an honor to live here and I love it. I miss my Canadians. I miss Canada and my friends and my family. And it's hard now, especially during the pandemic, because the borders are closed and I can't visit family. And family at the end of the day, other than God, which is first in my life, is family. And it's been tough, but we keep in touch via not only the phone, text, every other means, because that is the core of who we are.
A little bit warmer in Florida, yes?
Oh, my God. That's what keeps me here.
How do you deal with that polar bear weather in Canada? I mean, seriously.
You get so used to it. You get used.
Yeah.
It's with everything and anything in life. You get used to your new norm, like now with the pandemic. You just have to flow with it. But when you have paradise just around the corner and living right in it, so grateful to God for my decision to come down. I've met some beautiful individuals. Yes, I miss family, but of course, I went on my journey here and I love it and I'm blessed.
So I haven't seen you. I think we talked about it a couple of years. Last time I saw you, you got me involved because I love to entertain, as people know. I'm a financial planner, but I have a music background, and I was singing Sinatra music to this senior community, and it was a lot of fun. Tell me what you've been doing since last time I've seen you.
So let me redact a bit. Yes, we saw each other the last time at the function where you were singing. You are such a talent and a gift to the world. So I want to thank you
Well,
for
thank
that,
you.
because with your music, you touch hearts. You put people in a certain, just a feeling of happiness. And that's what people right now during the pandemic need. They need love. They need romance. They need to just live life and not be so fearful. And at the core of it, again, if you're not a Christ believer, you have nothing. And when you are and you live a Christ-like life, you can become invincible because you lean on him. And in our weakness, he's our strength. And that's what's gotten me from when I moved down to today, and why I am so resilient, why I am a warrior of God, is I haven't had the perfect journey and no one else has. And I've been through the worst storms. But at the end of the day, I have become so invincible because of him. He is my everything, and no one else's approval means anything to me but his. And that's why I live a happy, free life. That's true freedom.
Yeah, I know that you've helped many people, counseling them, helping them from a business standpoint, but more importantly from a personal standpoint. 'Cause let's face it, no matter what happens to you in life, if your internal house is not in order, then everything else is not going to fall into play. And isn't that the truth?
150%. So let me go back. When I was in Canada, I was in business. I was in finance. I was in management positions in both human resources and operations management. But I felt a burning desire within me, not just to lead people, but to impact lives. And that's why I got into what I did. And because as life went on, I forged more into God. So now I have a ministry. It's not just the therapeutic business. It's more of a ministry that I do, even though I deal with atheists and believers. I know that whenever I'm with someone, I always plant a seed, whether it eventually comes to fruition in the 1 week, 2 weeks, 5 years. I have people come back to me after time and say, you have changed the trajectory of my life because of how you guided me, what you said. I felt understood. And to me, above all, money is nothing. The fulfillment I get just from transforming lives is everything. And it's not even that. I'm doing God's work while doing it. I'm not doing it from a standpoint of I'm giving counseling, and from a worldly standpoint, I own my story. I own my pain. So when I give my sessions, I don't do it just from a book smart or what I've learned or the degree I've gotten, but really from the story and who I am and what I went through and what I forged through and how I have seen miracle after miracle because of God.
So does that mean that you're taking on clients now as you're spreading the word and helping other lives?
I have been taking on. You
Yeah.
had asked me, what am I doing since?
Yes, since
So,
a couple
yes.
years since I've seen you.
At one
yes.
point, I had branded myself as a love doctor, but the reason I got off that brand is there was a misconception. They always thought, oh, I was a matchmaker, or I'm dealing
Right.
just in relationships. I did the love doctor because at the core of everything is love. God is love.
God is love, yes.
And so for people to remember, I'm very much of a marketer. When people never forget the love doctor.
That's right.
They don't. And I still have people years later say, love doctor, come here. I need to talk. But I didn't want it to be misconstrued of anything in any even sexual matter where I'm talking about relationships and their sex lives. Not at all. It was really about loving yourself, loving God, loving yourself, and because once you love yourself, you can be so productive in every relationship you're in, whether it's personal or professional. And that was the core. But then I said, you know what? I want to be a life navigator. I love to cruise. And the big ships always have the little tugboat.
I went on one cruise. That was it. It was enough for me. Because, the idea of all these people being stuck on one boat together with the long food lines, maybe I had the wrong attitude about it. I don't know.
I think you went on the wrong ship
I
or the wrong
probably
experience or was with the wrong person.
But, a lot of what you do, though, you're right. It's nothing to do with sex or anything. I think it's more to do with personal development.
It is.
Because we all have to, and you have a copy of my book. I gave it to you as a gift years ago. I believe in this. Life is not easy, but it can be simple if you prioritize on taking whatever happens to you, making the best of the situation. But it's work. I mean, look, there's times I wake up that I'm not always motivated. I mean, that's why a lot of times, and we talked about this too, another part of self-development is people have to exercise. They don't eat well, they don't exercise, and they wonder why they feel like, can I say crap on the air? No, I don't think. Yeah. My producer says yes. Folks, if you don't watch what you eat, if you don't exercise, and you don't meditate, believe in a higher being, and question what's going on in your life, you're going to keep getting more of the stuff that you don't want. Isn't that the truth?
I'm going to add to you. You're spot on. First of all, your body's your temple. You're God's temple. He created you in his image. So when you let go of yourself, you're just saying, I don't care, and throwing your crown away. Don't do that. And it is meditation. And we in the Christian community is your first 15. Talk to God as if he's your father, or your dad, not so formal. Just talk to him. He wants a relationship. When you start your day and infiltrate your mind and your soul with God, then you can go and be a force to be reckoned with. And then you go to bed at night saying your gratitude and your praise to God again, because everything you have and do is because of him. But it's like Danny said, it's your attitude and going in, and when you infiltrate your soul and your heart, everything starts at the heart and your mind. The more you feed your soul with what you want and what you aspire to be, the more you will become it. Just like I always say to my clients is the 5 people you hang around with are the people you become. It's also who has your ear. Then the other thing.
You mean you're known from the company you keep? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, you become that because they take everything from you.
I mean, you do kind of have the same kind of conversations. And listen, if you want to have a question to Grace, call in at 772-220-9788. Call in 220-9788. I know she's taking on new clients. And what we're talking about is how to be happier, more at peace, and successful in your life. I think we're going to take a short break because I've been reminded that I'm derelict on my commercial breaks. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. And during the break, we started talking. It's true, Grace, you should mention what you think about how social media hasn't necessarily affected people positively. I think they have a misconception of reality. So what do you think is going on with social media these days?
Well, especially during the pandemic, yes, we all need the internet, our emails, and we depend on social media to keep in touch because a lot of people have kind of secluded themselves. Mm-hmm. However, social media has actually robbed us of our happiness. A lot, especially the younger generation, unfortunately.
Why do you think that is?
Because of comparison, because everybody, it's not real. At the end of the day, I'm going to say it. Yes, you can use it. And I used to use it as a great marketing tool.
Yes.
And that way, when you can be authentic and use it for business, absolutely.
It's great.
But when a lot of people now are saying, my life is perfect. This is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Especially during the pandemic when I actually have taken myself off. My whole family has. I go and I do certain things to inspire, but I won't go the way I used to be because I'm seeing so many people suffer. For me to post that I'm here and there and I'm out and I'm enjoying life when other people have lost their jobs, have
lost loved ones.
Yes. Yeah. And even have broken relationships. And this is another subject which I would love to, if we have time, to speak upon because of the pandemic. Now that you're crammed in, you have to really deal with all the triggers from your mate that before you would go to networking events or go to work and avoid having to talk about the hard topics. But now you're kind of stuck all working in the same house or even not doing as much or not going out as much. And people are leaning on social media for their worthiness. And sorry, at the end of the day, that's nothing. Again, that's man's approval. Don't you want one thing, and that's God's approval? You don't need anybody else's. You don't need to have that as you are beautiful.
You mean not everybody's a CEO, rich millionaire on Facebook? You're kidding me. Evan, I believe that all my friends were rich and happy. It's not true?
And that's so sad.
It's
no.
not true.
It's
All right.
not true.
Well, it's kind of like years ago in my brief single days, you go on these websites, Match, whatever, and they state, drama free, happy love life. And then you meet them, you're like, whoa, where's that person that you were advertising? So a lot of times on Facebook, and I know what you're saying. Last year, for example, we lost friends. The economy was terrible. I actually had a record year in my business, but I did not post it. And why would I? Because so many of my friends and people that I knew had the worst year of their lives. And I empathize with them. This is not to say that you shouldn't be happy and grateful for all that we have. But yes, I think a lot on social media is maybe overplayed because life is not easy. It's not always fun and games. We have to deal with the tough things that happen. And that's true.
I agree. And I'm not going to knock social media totally because some people use it authentically.
Yes.
And I agree because I know I did when I used to use it. Mm-hmm. But some people use it as a shield. And I'll tell you a true story. There was a young woman, I've said this on another radio show too. She was stunning, model material. And I think she was on Instagram and she had so many followers and everybody wanted to be her, loved her, wanted just to be associated with her. At the end of the day, when she went home, she really had nobody. It was the image. And she went home, she got drunk, she would be drinking, she would do drugs. She was so unhappy that she committed suicide, but nobody would have ever known because that's at the end. You know what? You want to foster and fellowship with true people that are, I always say, and this is where I've kind of pulled myself back. I want real people in my life. I want people that I can invite to my dinner table. I'm no longer looking for, I need to network with this person to get this. I don't want anything from anybody. I want a true relationship. And that's why, networking events are amazing. But I found, especially during the pandemic, moving forward, we're all resetting our priorities and our values. Moving forward, this is me. I'm not talking for anybody else. I want realness. I want to spend my quality time other than with my family, with people that are going to be true, real, and that I can learn from them and they can learn from me. I don't want the one-sided anymore where people used to just take from me or want what I, in knowledge or how I can help them. I want real. I want where we can foster greatness together and impact the world together.
Well, I think, it starts off, we spoke earlier, you're very well grounded, your Christian belief. I'm unapologetically a Christian. I'm unapologetically a conservative Republican. This doesn't mean, because Evan and I agreed a long time ago that we're not going to get too political on this show, but I do believe in conservative Christian fiscal policies. And this is not to say that I'm not open to other ideology, because I am. But when you are grounded, and we talked about Christ Fellowship, an excellent church. I remember seeing Pastor Mullen down in the Gardens campus, and I learned so much from them, because I think as you have God as a center part of your life, then everything else kind of falls into place. You don't get caught up with the trends or what's new and what's trendy. It just doesn't happen. Again, this is not to say that life is not tough, because look at what we went through as a country last year with this pandemic. So it's still going on.
I'm going to add to that. Life is tough.
It is.
And a lot of people, although they may be believers or even some non-believers, when the storms come, some of them give up and walk away from God and say, why is he doing this? It's not him doing it. And what's happening is during that time, that waiting time, that you have to have unbreakable faith, meaning that the Bible, it's all the truth. Everything that is said in there, all the promises, you're going to reap it if you're that true follower. So don't give up. And what he's doing during the time of the desert time, he's evolving you. He's growing you. He's stretching your shoulders to really take on the calling he has for you. And a lot of people haven't even reached their destiny yet.
So Grace, if someone would like to get with you, how can they call you? What's a good number they can reach you?
So the number they can reach me at is 772-618-5460. You can go on my website as well. It's www.gracejohnson.com. miracleworksfl, like Florida.com. And you can reach me via email at grace@miracleworksfl.com.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I can just tell you I've known Grace for several years. Probably 5, 7, I don't know. When we discuss anything, it's always a pleasure. It's from an intelligence standpoint. We have fun. We laugh at ourselves, you and I, because
yes,
when we talk about talking to God, sometimes I go, God, what the heck was I thinking? Like, what's the matter with me? But that's okay. Thank you. Through grace. Do we have Mike Sparaza on the phone? Mike, are you there?
I am here.
Hey, Mike. So here we have Mike Sparaza, one of our sponsors with the Financial Guys Home and Auto. What's going on in the P&C world today, sir?
Not too much. I definitely wanted to talk a little bit about down there because I'm seeing this now with a bunch of different companies, but you got to be careful in Florida when you're shopping for insurance because sometimes markets are closed down there, meaning some companies are just strictly not writing business at a certain point of time down there. Hurricane season, this happens a lot. I have another company I'm working with right now, which I won't name, but with certain values of homes, they're not writing business for that value of a home right now. So I guess the moral story
are you
is,
saying is they don't. Sometimes they just won't take certain policies?
Yes. Yeah. So sometimes they won't take certain policies. Sometimes they close the markets completely and aren't writing business down in Florida. Certain companies, not all companies, but certain companies. And it's a risk mitigation, technique that they do. But I think it's just very important to know when you're shopping around, first off, make sure you're shopping around as many companies as you can, because just because one's closed doesn't mean they're all closed. But also, actively look at this stuff because maybe when you signed up for your policy, a company was closed and now they're open again and you can shop with a different company that might be much cheaper than where you are right now. So it's a little bit of a funky market, but it's something to really consider as you're shopping around each year because it depends on the year when your policy renews, what's going on in the state at that point. And I think that's a pretty interesting thing to dissect there.
So if you're interested, call toll-free 855-TFG-AUTO. Can you believe I remembered that? I had my coffee today. So
that's good.
855-TFG-AUTO. Mike will be happy to shop for your auto and homeowners. And, I mean, I always say, why wouldn't you see about saving money? Or if not at least saving money, but getting better coverage. And that's important too, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, coverage, I know people don't love to hear this, but coverage is more important than the price, in my opinion, only because you could buy the cheapest policy you can find, but if it doesn't do anything for you when the claim happens, it's not worth, any dollar amount, right? So I think it's definitely to look at your coverage, make sure that you have enough, make sure you have hurricane coverage down there, make sure your liability is where it should be. Because coverage truly is the most important thing. And it's what you're buying is the coverage, right? That's the most important thing with insurance because the last time you want to figure out you don't have the right coverage is when the claim happens and you're in a bit of a pickle.
So are you still in Florida or are you back in New York?
I am back in New York.
Okay. You missed a great show. I think Kelsey texted me and I'm sorry you missed it, but let me know when you're back in town, my friend, and we'll certainly pick it up again. Any parting shots before I let you go?
No, I'll be down there again at the end of April for our annual conference. So I'm looking forward to that with you guys.
Yes. We're going to do some things in our conference at Peak Brokerage, which will be entertaining and surprising. That's all I'm going to say right now. I'm working out the details with Regina as we speak. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to save on your home and auto, please call Mike Sparaza at 855-TFG-AUTO. Mike, always great to have you, my friend. Stay warm, and I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Have a great show, Denny.
Awesome. Social media. Yeah, you can't, we left on that social media thing, but there's different social medias as well. Facebook is different. LinkedIn is different. I find more professionals are sharing ideas on LinkedIn and not so much personal on that as well.
I agree. LinkedIn is, I love LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I love Facebook. I'm not going to say, but I'm my choice of getting off and focusing my attention and my priorities on other things.
Yeah.
I want to go back. I'm going to get out of the social media. When we were speaking prior to the show,
yes,
we are both unapologetically authentic. And I love what I tell my clients, and I love it because when you hide yourself from the world and you're not who you authentically are meant or created to be, you're robbing the world of your gift. So that's one thing I want to kind of touch upon is a lot of people aren't where they want to be because of past hurts, traumas, pain. And until you heal your past, and it could be even from an age of 2 or even when you were like right at birth and onwards, you stay crippled and stuck in your life, but you need to honor your emotions and face it as painful as it may be. And once you do, you are going to liberate yourself and be able to move on and become the person you are destined to be.
I think because most people are afraid that this kind of stuff really works. Folks, you can wake up today and stop being who you were yesterday. You just have to decide.
Your past does not define your future. You're today. Your actions today.
The problem also is, think about it, besides social media, too many news outlets are preaching certain narratives. You know, it's so funny. I told Evan, my producer, because we try not to watch too much news because we don't want to be programmed. So I think it was yesterday. I had not watched the news in a while, so I was curious. I recorded, I'm not going to mention names, but one was the conservative show and one was a liberal. So I listened to it and I spent 2 hours and I went, oh my God, nothing's changed in the last 6 months. They're still preaching the same narrative. So think about it. How many hours of a day that we all spend on either watching television or doing something that's not getting us ahead. And I'm telling you, folks, you can change what's going on in your life. First of all, if you decide to do so. It's not always the easiest, but it is the simplest. We have to, it's kind of like, look, I'd love to eat pizza and chicken wings every day, but if I did that, I'd be 300 pounds.
Every decision is a step forward. The first step is always the hardest.
Yes.
And you just have to want it bad enough. And like you were saying with the TV, even the TV programs and the news and all that, it's all drama. Everything around is drama. You have to really be intentional about what you feed your mind, your spirit, and your soul. I have decided now to watch less TV and actually listen to sermons online and work out to sermons.
Is that right?
Because that, to me, is feeding my soul. I'm getting wiser. I'm knowing the Bible inside and out, and I'm becoming more fierce, more resilient, and more of an ambassador for God, and also a warrior to help others be warriors. It's all about a domino effect. It doesn't mean your job has to entail giving therapy to people. Your job can be in the financial sector. Your job can be a customer service at McDonald's. But the seed you plant when you're just a good person and have a life, Christ, and living a Christ-like life, you can impact anyone. Your job is just a vessel for you to speak to others. So it doesn't matter what you do. As long as your intention is to impact, take your gifts. Everyone has been gifted with different gifts. Denny has many beautiful gifts, from like financial to entertainment. He's an artist. When he uses all of his gifts to their full capacity, oh my God, he's impacting the world. I have different gifts.
Who is that guy? I don't know who you're talking about. Who is that guy?
We've all been gifted.
I almost have as many jobs as Evan here. I'm trying to keep up with him.
About Evan today.
And he has a kids and a wife and everything.
That is beautiful and amazing. But
he's Jamaican.
Oh my God. Look how many people he's impacting through his own jobs. And they're all tools because and even as simple as I'm opening a door, let's say at a Publix for someone, when I do that or say one word to them, they then go to work and are kinder to somebody else, or they go home to their family and it just changes the whole trajectory of their day. It doesn't mean I'm doing therapy or counseling. It means that I'm just being a good person, a good Samaritan.
Hey, that's too positive. What's the matter with you, huh?
What's that? I live for God. How can I not be positive? I'm grateful for being alive.
Anger in there, resentment in there going on. What's going on, huh?
And okay, in all reality, we can have our good days and bad days. I've had my days where I'm questioning. I do. We all do.
Yes. If you're artistic in any shape or form, if you try and hold yourself to a standard, you're going to have. It doesn't make you bipolar. You know, you can be moody without being clinically bipolar. And I think too many people have given these drugs. Hey, you're having a bad time. Just take this pill. You'll feel better.
I can't stand that. This is one thing that I have worked with.
Take this pill. You'll feel better. Yes.
I've worked with clients where they are not taking anything.
They are not. Okay.
And I have helped them heal from their past trauma and pain so that they don't need to numb it with alcohol, drugs, or even going to a psychiatrist and taking some prescribed medication. You don't need all that.
Oh, I think we have a caller on the line. You might, I think who it is. You may need to counsel this. Hello, you're on the air Today with Denny. What's on your mind?
Hi, Uncle Denny and Cousin Evan. Hi.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go. It's little Tommy, ladies and gentlemen.
Boy.
How are you guys?
I'm gonna leave the room.
You are?
Yeah, I can't deal with him anymore.
I don't know.
He's neurotic.
Tommy,
Mashugana.
I got a very special friend who's a guest today. Maybe she can help you out. Because tell her, Tommy, tell Grace about your mommy and your daddy and your grandma. What's going on in that house?
Grandma's legs look like tuna casserole.
God will forgive him too.
Yeah.
But grandma's leg looks like tuna casserole. Really?
Sometimes.
You're being a little cruel. Really? Okay. Is she asleep right now? Okay. And what is your mom doing, Tommy?
Mommy went next door to get cigarettes from the neighbor.
Your mom smokes?
And I have my friend Jessica is here.
Oh my God. Well, who's Jessica?
Jessica is 5 years old, and sometimes we were playing doctor, Uncle Denny.
Cousin Evan, you believe what's going on in that household right now?
Like I said, I plead the fifth on this one.
That's a little young to have guests over, don't you think, Grace?
Oh, I stay out of this one.
You're going to stay out of this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, Tommy, my friend here, she's a person of God. She's a spiritual coach. Maybe she can help you out with your home situation.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Tell her how old you are. I think you went silent on there. Are you playing with your friend right now, Tommy? Is that what you're doing?
We were playing doctor. I brought her into the closet.
This is a family show, Tommy. You can't be playing doctor on the show here.
Well,
Grace, what should we do with this little kid here?
I stay out of this one.
Really?
Yeah.
I took her vitals, and then I charged her $150 because she did not have insurance, and I told her to come back in 6 months.
I think not only is Tommy a future senator, I think he's a future CEO business guy. So think about it. He has the at-home kindergarten care, and now he's a doctor. Wow. So, Tommy, is this your first patient? Okay. How is she doing?
She's very healthy. She doesn't smoke or nothing like that. She can run real fast too.
Well, maybe Cousin Evan doesn't need to adopt you because now you have a friend to be with you. What do you think of that?
No, I want Cousin Evan to adopt me too.
You do? Dude, he has 4 kids. He doesn't want another one.
That's okay. I will be very quiet and behave. I will. Cousin Evan, I'm behave. I'm behave.
Behave?
I promise.
Okay.
Behave.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, Tommy, in Florida, you can't practice medicine without a license. You know that, right?
No, I don't know.
Well,
24 and a half, Uncle Denny.
You charged her $150 for your
She
medical.
did not have a good copay program.
All right, Tommy. Well, listen, we're going to pray for you because today we have a spiritual program going on. And I don't want you to keep playing doctor with anybody like that, all right?
All right. I will be good.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, little Tommy, we're going to see him next week as well. Stay out of trouble, okay?
I will try my best.
All right. I don't know, man. You sure you don't want to adopt him, Evan? You could, you might have you're on the show Today with Denny. What's on your mind?
Hi, Denny. It's Andrea from Miami.
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
I'm good. I've finally been able to make the room in my schedule to tune in, and I just wanted to give you some positive feedback. And I like the versatility of what I've heard so far today, and
Oh, well, thank
I
you.
will be trying to find time every Thursday to tune in. I
So,
think you've got a good thing going there, and I'm going to spread the word to my friends.
why, thank you. So, how has this year been for you with the COVID and all the crazy stuff that's been going on?
Well, it's definitely been life changing. I've been, you know, changing a lot of things that I've done. I haven't been able to do my volunteer work at the school, which I was very much a part of my life, working in the library. I've had to readjust a whole lot of things, and it's just different. And I just feel like we're not ever going to go back to what we were before. That's just the way that it is.
Hey, Miss Andrea. Good morning. It's Grace.
Good morning.
My word
Hi,
for
Grace.
Good morning. My word for 2021 is hope. I used to volunteer at Tradition Medical, and at the hospital in the ER, and they're not having ever since COVID hit. They're not bringing back their volunteers, and it is hard. I know when you put your heart in something, and it becomes part of your life. So I get where you're at, but know that things will. Even though right now you're saying, and some people are believing, with everything that's going on, will we ever go back? I truly believe we will. This is just a reset time. This is a time for really us to see within ourselves what is most important. And even if we don't fully go back to the old norm, the new norm, it's what we make of it. And I can just tell you have a heart of gold just by wanting. Anyone that volunteers and gives of their time, you're giving of yourself. Time is just as valuable as money. So you can find an outlet in another way to give back, maybe not at the school, but somewhere else where they're in need of, and will take volunteers during the COVID time, because it is part of who you are, and you will get that fulfillment from doing so. So don't give up. Have hope, and know that just keep on smiling, because God is using you in such wonderful, beautiful ways, and allow Him and His Spirit to guide you into what you need to do. Right now, you may be unsure. Just let Him speak to you, and you will know. And when you do know, you will say, oh my God, COVID kind of threw me a curveball, but I'm even happier than ever now because I'm doing something I really, really enjoy, even more than the school. You will find your place. You were born on purpose and for a purpose. So believe in that wholeheartedly, have faith, and trust that you will be guided to where you need to be.
Okay.
Well, look at that. So have they told you when you can come back to the school campus at all? I'm curious.
No, they haven't. Okay. Not yet. They're following CDC guidelines, and they're only the people that are staff are allowed there right now.
I have a lot of clients that are teachers. I've been to schools. I mentor students. I've been doing that for since 2008, actually. And it's a shame that this has affected our education like it is. But like Grace says, I really believe we're going to get through this. This is just such a tough time. So what are you doing with yourself now that you can't go to the schools? Like, what are you doing with your time most days?
Well, I'm still active in the PTA at the school.
Okay.
So since the kids aren't allowed to go to the library since it's not open, we came up with this project that we're going to do later this month called the Reading Express. We had some funds that were donated to us by one of the county commissioners, and we decided to put those funds into buying a book for each child.
Oh,
all of the kids. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to present it to them later this month, right before spring break. And every child will have their own book to read, and different levels, different topics, fiction and nonfiction.
Is there a certain age group?
Hoping to let them know, the PTA is still there in some kind of way for them, because we used to do a lot of things for them on campus, which, that stopped too.
And you said you're in Miami?
Yes. You know me. Denny.
I know. Oh, it's Andrea. You did.
Yes.
Here Denny. I am playing. Yes, of course. I think of V. Weiser most days.
I know.
I miss him so much. Andrea, she was V Wise's lady, and V Wise was a dear friend of mine who passed away. Gosh, what was it, like a year ago or so? Andrea, something like that.
I'm sorry, Andrea.
And he was just so full of life. I mean, this guy would make you laugh. You know, in life, there are a few people that you meet and you go, they're not of this world. They're direct descendant from heaven. V Weiser was one of those people. So
he's rejoicing with God right now and watching over you.
He's laughing at all of us.
He's in a better world than all of us.
He is.
Yes, he is.
Andre, you should have told me who you were. Like, Andre, it's me.
You would have just known from
no,
my name.
I hear different voices and everything, and that's great. So it's so nice to hear from you. Yes, and you know, this has been just a crazy year for music and education and so many things. And but we're going to get through this. I really believe that. You know, and and I know. I thought you lived in the Broward area. Are you living?
No, I lived in Miami.
Oh my goodness! So you actually catch us in Miami, or you're online listening to WSTU?
I'm online.
Okay, well that's good. And listen, I hope to catch you at one of my shows, and I hope that
to catch myself there. I love your playing. I love your music. You're very talented.
Thank you. And I can also discuss some of your plans if you ever plan to retire. We can also discuss that as well. You're already retired. So how do I feel like I'm
You're
like
behind
I am behind, ain't I? How long you been retired?
No, I've been retired now for going on 4 years.
4 years? Okay. So V Wiser was living off you.
Volunteer at the school. I wanted to be there with my granddaughter, and you know.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I think better times are coming. We just got to have faith.
Yes.
And we have to grind forward and go through it. And I'm so glad that you called in, and I haven't spoken to you for last time I spoke to you was around the show off that we had in honor of V Wiser. I think that was the last time we kind of spoke.
Yeah.
And that was a great, you know, so many people loved him. And the kids were doing good last time I checked. So
Nick is married now.
Oh, really? I am behind. You see that?
So, Andrea,
I just found out. It just happened.
Let me tell you, when he realized who you were, you should have seen the glow in his eyes. You must have had an impact on the individual he is. So thank you for being you. And it's an honor and a pleasure to meet you today. So know that whatever you're going to end up doing in your volunteer aspect, know that you're going to impact beyond. You're God's light out there in this dark world. So don't stop yourself short, because people need you. They need your gift, whether it's even volunteering at your local church or even at a food bank or something like that. People need to see your light. It's not what you do. Your presence in itself will make the impact.
Don't make me call you every day, Grace. Okay. Seriously. Evan, if you're feeling bummed out, I want you to call Grace. Okay. He's pretty even keeled though. See? You see that look? That's the look of a guy who sleeps about 3 or 4 hours a night, right? Is it 3 or 4? Did you do
about 3?
About 3 hours.
3 or 4 hours, and that's all I need because I have a great life.
Oh, praise
I have
God.
a fantastic life.
You wouldn't trade it for anything, would you?
Never, ever, ever. I'm very happy where I am in my life.
God is good all the time, all the time.
Oh,
God is good.
Praise God. Praise God on that one, sister.
Well, I don't know. I still say that I want to do a show about it when he was a WWE announcer, because the stories alone on that, I don't know if we could say it all on this family show, but Evan is also the announcer for the Mets. So he's out there in the stadium, you know, talking about that. He has a DJ business. So
truly talented.
But folks, if you want to get cheered up, I want you to call Grace. Give their number again, Grace, when they want to call in.
772-618-5460.
Now, if you're a stalker and you like beautiful women, do not call her. Okay, this is for therapeutic reasons that she's giving out her phone number. So, Andrea, thanks for calling in. I hope to hear from you soon.
Please give my best to Christine, and I'll be in touch.
All right, you be well, Andrea.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Yeah, we had a great send off for V Wiser. And gosh, I think like 200 musicians and friends showed up. The place was packed, and he was one of those guys, V-Wise. I love him like a brother. He just went, he went too soon. He didn't take care of himself. Unbeknownst to me, he was a diabetic.
Wow.
And he didn't have the proper insurance, didn't get the medication, went into a diabetic coma, and that's it. That was
sad.
All for V-Wiser as well. So, have you got any shows coming up that you're planning, or networking events? Because I know you're always doing different things up on the Treasure Coast.
Always doing something.
Yes.
Right now, there's a lot.
Yeah, nothing that comes offhand.
I mean, it's constant. I have an HR event coming up at the end of April. It's a social for our Human Resource Association, where we're not only want to tell our current members how much we value them, but we also want to kind of recruit new people, because really we can help you and your company better yourselves in knowing what the latest HR trends, issues, and so forth. But it's not just in that. And there's so many things going on. And Christ Fellowship, I'm going to give another kudos to that, because that is my church. And even my son goes to SCU for pastoral ministry. And we all love Christ Fellowship, and they do so much. And there's so much right now. We all are tasked just in our everyday world to be disciples, to bring in other disciples. So don't be afraid to, like you said, I'm unapologetically a Christian. Don't be afraid to say who you are.
Exactly.
You know what? He's my strength. I would not be here today if it weren't for God. I've seen miracle, and he's kept me alive for that reason. So I'm here to impact. Reach out. I'm here to help you, but reach out to your fellow man, and just with one kind word, one kind gesture, and talk about God, and don't be afraid. Be unapologetic.
God has blessed me in so many ways. I stopped counting, and it's so funny that if I fall from grace, or I get a little off kilter, it's that I forget the basic foundations of I'm here but through the grace of God and all the gifts that he has given me. And I think every day that we all wake up, as bad as you think you may have it, there are so many that have it even worse. And so the pay it forward mentality is help other people that are struggling,
When you help, you're actually healing yourself. And they even with PTSD heroes, when they come back from war, when they start helping another hero, they're actually healing from their own PTSD. So a lot of times, even addictive personalities, or someone that was addicted from drugs or alcohol, when they start getting their sponsees and start helping others, they're healing from their own addiction. And God wants to bless you. The more you bless others, he'll bless you, because he knows that you're using your blessings in a way that is helping others. So his blessings will overtake you.
Yeah, I think most of my client base are not with me just because of my financial prowess. I do, I'm a financial planner. I do help people, but they also like that they can, my clients, we speak about common sense things. If they're a little bit off kiltered, they call me in the evenings. I'm there for them. I'm committed to clients and friends. The number is 561-305-8226. You can certainly catch some of my shows. This Saturday, I'm going to be at Taco Tiki in Jensen Beach. One of my favorite places to play. Great food. It's an outdoor venue. We're going to be playing some great music. Grace, if you're not too busy, I'm going to be there this Saturday from 7 to 10. And there's going to be a little bit of a reunion. I think a lot of old high school friends are going to be there this Saturday. We all stay intertwined and in touch with each other, because it's been 40 years since we graduated high school.
Yeah, but that's special. That's so nice that you guys.
It beats the alternative, right? But 40 years, my God, that was a whole lifetime ago.
So I'm going to just say one last thing is, if you're a venue, restaurateur, or any other establishment, Denny is a beautiful, amazing artist and truly talented. Once you have him play at your establishment,
you're hired. You're hired.
No, I'm talking authentically, that you'll gear a crowd into your restaurant, and a lot of the restaurant places need that right now.
Well, Grace, it's been a pleasure having you as my guest. You're such a great friend. Don't Don't be a stranger. Stay in touch. Everybody, God bless. Take care of yourself. Make this the best day that you can. We'll see you next week on Today with Denny. Thank you.
Thank you.